Hello, I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and today I'm going to help you with your putting training sessions. Unfortunately, most people don't actually practice or train for putting. What they do just prior to teeing off on the golf course, that 5 minutes they spend on the putting green, is not called putting training, it's called a warm-up. So very few people actually practice their putting. So a typical scenario at a golf range is you look at the range and it's chock-a-block full of people. And we get out on the putting green. So right now, the actual range is totally full of people. There's even a wait to get on to the range. But right now, there is no one on this putting green. I'm the only one here. Hence, I'm filming the video. So don't be like those people. Start to do a little bit of work on training your putting skills. So I was fortunate enough to go to the Australian PGA Coaching Summit 2 weeks ago, and Colin Swatton, Jason Day's coach, told me that Jason practices the skill of putting 2.5 hours a week, per day, not a week. 2.5 hours per day, every day. And that blew my mind. When you think about it, he's got his physical training to do in the gym. He's got his training that he would do with his driver, his irons, golf swing work. He's got bunker shots, chipping, pitching. He's got to play golf. He's got a young family. There's a lot going on in his life, and he's also got to sleep. But even with all that in mind, he still works on his putting 2.5 hours every day. And apparently if he can't do it at the golf course, he does it on the hotel room and he does it at home. So if you practice 2.5 hours a day on the skill of putting alone, even if you've got poor fundamentals and a bad stroke, I know you're going to get much better at it. So I'm not telling you should practice 2.5 hours a day, but I'm going to help you with whatever time you've got available to you. So the main emphasis here is I'm going to give you some ideas on how to practice your putting to make it interesting, and every skill that we do here is going to improve your putting. And it doesn't matter how good you are at it, just keep persevering, and I'm going to film it as it is. I'm not going to doctor it, so what you will see is exactly what happens here. So here we have a distance control putting drill, which I think is well worth doing. So I've set up my 3-foot circle in the distance there, and I've got some balls set up here at 25 feet, and I've got another 4 balls set up there at 15 feet. So if you can get your distance control down pat, it's going to make your next putt easier, and if we can do that, you're going to have less 3-putts. If you have less 3-putts, you're going to lower your score by quite some margin, and that's what I'm all about, lowering that score. So even though I've got 4 balls here, I'm going to take the 1-ball approach. And I've talked about that in another video, which I'll put a link at the top of the page, how I think you should be doing 1-ball practice. But here we go. I'm going to try and just think about getting this ball rolling down towards that 3-foot circle. So that's rolled down okay. That's in the circle. I'm pretty happy with that result. So now I move down to this one. So now I'm at 15 feet, and the same thing, I want pre-shot routine. Every putt counts. So I've rolled that down into the circle. So then I would come back here. So we don't want to hit the same putt twice in a row, because out on the golf course we only get one chance. We've got to get our brain in tune with the fact that we have to do this right the first time. So once again, pre-shot routine is important. Got that one down inside my circle. Come back over here. So there I've hit 4 putts. I won't go through and do all 8 putts, but I think it's a good idea to actually do that. So we're trying to hit 8 putts, and you may not get them all inside the circle. I certainly don't every time. And you can adapt this. You can put a third area in there, and you might want to go 20 feet. But the idea is we do different lengths, and we're trying to make every single one count, and we're trying to get it inside that 3-foot circle. And the more balls you get in that 3-foot circle, the better the chance you are of 2 putting. So I would also use your note function on your phone and just write down the date and what your score was. You know, if you've got 8 balls and you got 6 out of 8, just write 6 out of 8. That's your PB. So next time you do it from the same area and see what your score is, and you're just constantly trying to improve it. I know that's something that Jason Day does. He's always keeping a tally of his results in these games that he plays with Colin Swat and watching. So the next game that I would play in this session is a game called Killer, and this is one where we do have multiple balls, but this is a good training drill. It's a terrific way of improving your pressure skills, and you want to go through your pre-shot routine. So I have 5 little markers set up here, so we call it levels. We have 6 balls, so the whole object of the game is to progress to the next level, we've got to get the ball in the hole. So I got that one in, and then I come back here and we go to level 2. Once again, with pre-shot routine, we try and get it in the hole. So that's level 2 passed. And we come up here at level 3, a little right to left breaking putt. That one's in. So now we go to level 4. So once again, still right to left, we take a line. Level 4 passed. Now I'm on the last level. No, that one missed. So that ball is out of play now. So now I get one of these other balls. So fortunately I've got 5 more lives to try and get this ball in the hole. Missed it left. The pressure's building. So that one's gone. So I've got 4 goes left. It was a nice pull, that last one. I've got to start it out down the right a bit better. Still didn't start it out right. So what was looking really good is now starting to get a bit harder. So I'm running out of lives too. I've only got 3 left. I'm repeating the same mistake over and over. At least I'm consistent. I've got 2 lives left. I might be a bit more serious with this one. I might line the ball up a bit better. I haven't been paying enough attention to that. But this is starting to build pressure and you can feel a bit nervous. I'm on camera, I don't want to look a goose. I am going to look a goose. Now it comes down to the last putt. So I'm doing this in real time. I'm not editing any out. I could easily make myself look better than I am, but there's no learning involved in that if I do it. So we have to make this real. It's either going to go in or it's not. No. So on that circumstance, I've failed the game. So I can then do it again, and I can start again and go through the game, or I can simply just mark it down that I fail level 5, and then we move on to the next game. So this one's a really good one. This is at 8 feet, and from 8 feet on the PGA Tour, that's the distance where most tour players, either they get half of them and they miss half. So at 50% is the average from 8 feet. So I've got these alignment sticks down that I'm going to use to help me with my alignment. I'm going to put this ball down so the black line is pointing parallel. It's a right to left breaking putt, but really, as always, it's about the speed. So I want to try and get my speed right. Okay, so that's one. The object is we're trying to get as many as we can, but importantly we're trying to go through pre-shot routine and proper line-up procedures as well. That's 2. So that's my PGA Tour average. Even if I miss the last 2, I'm at 50%. See if I can do better than that. There's 3. And the last one. You can certainly feel the pressure rising. I've got 3 in a row. I really want 4. And I got 4, but I could feel the nerves starting to rise. So that's a really good training drill to do. It helps with your pressure skills, and if you can do that on a regular basis, it's really going to help. So this one's another good one. I did this a few weeks ago, and you can probably see it. I'll put a link at the top of the page to it. But by putting on a ruler, it helps me with my fundamentals. So when I'm practicing my putting or training with my putting, I want to make sure that I can start the ball on the right line and return my club face back to square. And that's what this ruler drill does. So I'm just putting the ball on top there, taking my setup, and if I can return the ball, if I return the club back to square, the ball stays on the ruler, and as I said a minute ago, that black line stayed on top. If I don't return my putter face back to square, I'm going to leave it out to the right or to the left, and the ball is going to fall off that ruler. So I usually don't have it as a hole. This is just me training, trying to return the putter back to square. So it stayed on the ruler. So you do that 4 times. You can do it over and over if you want, just to try and check it. But I find that really, it's a good way of me seeing where I'm at with my putting stroke. And this putt here is a really good pressure drill. So I'm about 5 feet from the hole here, and I've got a tee stuck right in the middle of the hole. So I have to try and get the ball to go in the right side of the hole and then follow it up with one in the left side, or left and right. It doesn't really matter, but I'm after 2 in a row, either way, without touching that golf tee. So it seems pretty easy, but this putt breaks a little bit right to left. So this left side is an extremely difficult putt to get in. If you don't hit it at the right speed, it's going to hit the edge and not go in. And if you are just slightly out with your alignment, you're going to hit the tee or you'll miss it left. So it's quite a frustrating drill, and we can learn from that frustration. I had a guy that I was coaching the other day, and after about 5 minutes, he nearly snapped his putter. He was so frustrated. But I taught him a breathing technique, which helped him to lower his heart rate and calmed him down. So he was able to deal with that frustration a lot better. So we'll see how I go with this one. I think it's good with one ball too. So I'm going to try for the right side first. Unfortunately, I hit the tee. Now I've got to go left side because we don't hit the putt twice in a row for the same spot. And unfortunately, I hit the tee. Nice frustrating start. Right side again. No problem with the right side. Right. I'm so frustrated with the left putt, I'm not thinking and concentrating properly. Got one, yes. Now I've got to go right side. Got it in at last. So that took a while. And it's very frustrating. You probably couldn't tell, but my heart rate was getting up. I was starting to get annoyed, and there's the pressure of the camera on there. So it's a great drill. Now, if that's too hard, you can do it from closer range and then gradually build up from there. So if you can do those drills, I think you'll find it's a really interesting way of practicing your putting. So we're going through some mechanical stuff and checking your fundamentals. We're getting some distance control stuff. It's all really good stuff to be doing when you're training for your putting. Have a go at that. Try and avoid playing mini golf, this hole to this hole to this hole to this hole. Start using the putting green. You won't have any trouble getting on it. It's always empty. And thank you for letting me help you with your golf. I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.